What happens when two of the most powerful technologies of our time, meaning AI and blockchain, actually collide? In this video, we are going to dive into a very important conversation that most people are not having yet, but they absolutely should have. We will explore how the fusion could potentially solve one of the biggest threats of the AI era and why Algorand might be quietly getting ready to lead the charge, or at least definitely be involved in that area. So with all that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones, and do not worry, at the end of the video we are going to check out the live chart and see what is going on. But before that, we are going to dive into something that honestly doesn't really get a whole lot of attention, meaning the powerful and growing relationship between AI and blockchain technology. So recently, there was this really interesting panel discussion, a meeting focused on AI and blockchain, and something that really stood out from my point of view at least was the comments from Staci Warden, CEO of Algorand. She said something that might sound simple at first, but it actually goes quite deep. She said that the word trust came up over 9 times in just one conversation about AI. And you know what? That's not really a coincidence, because as AI evolves, it's able to generate content much better, make some important decisions, even it's going to be able to automate, for example, an entire system. We are going to need a new infrastructure of trust. And that, my friends, is exactly where blockchain comes in clutch. You see, people often assume that blockchain is just about crypto or tokens or NFT or yada yada. But blockchain's real power is actually integrity. It doesn't really decide what is true. No, that is still on you and me. But what it does is actually prove that something happened at a specific time and it hasn't tampered with since. That is called immutability. And it's exactly what we are going to need in the world of AI creating. Let me give you a quick example, and a very real example that is painfully relevant today. You see, deepfakes and fake images these days are causing some major problems. Imagine we are a few months away from a major election, and for example, let's fast forward 2-3 years. And all of a sudden, a photo goes viral showing a candidate doing something shocking, but guess what? That's actually not real, and it was generated by AI, or maybe even worse, it was a real photo that got altered just very slightly, enough to change the whole public opinion. This could potentially happen in the coming elections, I promise you. Now, imagine if the original image has been published on chain with a timestamp. If someone tries to alter it or maybe pass off a fake version, there would be a public unchangeable record showing that it was not the original. Okay, this is very important, and that simple proof of integrity could literally protect democracy and change the course of an election entirely. That is how much of a big issue this currently is. And this isn't just a theory. You see, these things are already happening, like we said that earlier, and you need to think about what Staci said. Blockchain doesn't tell you what is the truth. No, but what it does is actually preserving integrity. And that is a huge piece of the puzzle when it comes to fighting misinformation in the AI era. But you see, that's just one part. Staci also mentioned 2 more incredibly important points when it comes to blockchain potentially enabling AI. Number 1 is agency for AI agents. Right now, AI can analyze, predict, and also generate, but it cannot truly act in a secure, verifiable way. Blockchain gives AI agents the ability to interact with the smart contracts, hold and transfer digital assets, and make autonomous decisions without centralized control, which I think is a fantastic game changer. Number 2, decentralized compute. You see, today most AI power is in the hands of huge corporations, for example, like Google, OpenAI, Meta, and so on and so forth. But what if computing power could be spread out across the globe with blockchain coordinating all of it? That is decentralized computing, and it could make AI more democratic, more transparent, and less vulnerable to monopolization. So overall, yeah, the AI plus blockchain combo isn't just simply interesting. No, it is 100% necessary, because the further we go down this path of AI generated content, automated decision making, and digital everything, the more we are going to need systems that can back things off with proof, not just simply trust. Now, before we wrap up this part, let's talk about Algorand and why it actually looks like that they may be kind of positioning themselves to be a serious player in this whole AI and blockchain space. First off, just the fact that Staci Warden, the CEO of Algorand, is talking in details about these use cases at AI panels and public events, in my opinion, definitely tells you something. It seems like that she completely understands that blockchain has a huge role to play in the AI powered world that we are absolutely heading to. But there's more than just talk. We are starting to see, slowly but surely, some small moves that hint at bigger ambitions. For example, Algorand recently partnered on projects like the Universal Chess Passport, which may sound like a bit of a niche use case, but it actually combines identity, digital records, and potentially AI analytics, and they are all powered by blockchain. Also, it seems like that they are kind of leaning into topics like verifiable digital content and decentralized compute, both of which are absolutely essential in an AI-driven ecosystem. Even though they haven't released some huge AI projects yet, you can definitely see that they are setting the stage, and that is, in my opinion at least, really smart. And I think you need to pay attention to this project that they are working on. Where is it? There we go. ETSF, which is a tamper-proof media validation platform and product provider in the insurance, IoT, public safety, financial services, and news media spaces. So you see, it definitely seems like that they are on track to be a decent player in AI and blockchain space. And this is just my own opinion. You can have a different one. I absolutely respect it. I believe, again, this is very smart. Why? Because this space is still 100% wide open. Big names like Ethereum and Avalanche haven't completely and fully nailed the AI integration path yet, so there is real opportunity for a fast, scalable L1 like Algorand to step in, innovate, and grab their fair share of adoption, whether, for example, it's going to be through partnerships, developer tools, or real-world use case. So overall, yeah, this might not be breaking headlines today, and I fully agree with you. And if you think that, I think you are absolutely right. But it is one of those stories that could potentially age really well. And for example, if in a year or two, Algorand is going to be a big player in the AI space, I preserve the right to come back to this video and tell you I 100% told you so. And if Algorand potentially keeps pushing in this direction, and if more real-world AI use cases pop up, we could potentially see a lot of growth in adoption down the road. And that, again, once more, I'm gonna say it, is genuinely good news for anyone who is watching this project very closely. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, okay, tell the price that. In fact, I did actually have a comment that said literally that to the T in the previous Algorand video. And trust me, if I was able to tell the price all the good news, we would be already at, I don't know, maybe $5 to $10. But the price doesn't really care about what you, me, or for that matter, anybody thinks. These are, from my point of view, absolutely normal behavior, and there are some times that a project is undervalued, and if you pay attention to the fundamentals, you can definitely see that. And there will be times also that the price is absolutely overvalued. So in times that we are overvalued, we should probably sell. In times that we are undervalued, like the one that we are currently in my opinion, what do you think we should do? You know what? I'm not going to tell you what to do. You make your own decision and come up with your own conclusion. My job is to talk about positive developments that projects are making, and it's definitely not making decisions for you in your financial life. And having said all that, now let's go and check out Algorand's chart. And again, keep that in mind. This is not financial advice. I'm just here to give you my analysis. You should definitely do more research and come up with your own conclusion. So if you buy or sell, it will be 100% your decision. Now, what is going on in the short term? Because if you remember in the previous video, we were, I believe, right around the highs in here. And the idea was that according to our primary case, most likely we are having an A B, C zigzag, and after this is over, we are going to have a 5-wave impulsive structure down in order to take the lowest low down here about 18.7 cents. But I said we can go a bit more down than that, and for example, reach to about this important area between 16.5 to about 17.5 cents. And as you can see, that pretty much played out. And maybe it's best to go on crypto.com because we do have better looking candles in here. Let's just zoom out, excuse me. Okay, so I think we can all kind of agree that this is absolutely starting from this high, 5-wave down into wave 1, correction for wave 2, and maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside into our wave 5. So again, what we talked about pretty much played out. The question is, can we argue in algo the final low is already up? You see, you can argue that, but here is what I have to say. If you want to be confident about having some sort of at least a midterm low around this area, I don't know, maybe like this is an important support, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low in here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave on the upside. This specific example is an impulse. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5-wave, wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. Okay. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have many different possibilities. Honestly, doesn't really matter. Let's say sure. ABC into wave 4 and AWXY into wave 2. Having said all that, now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening starting from the lowest low. And I guess this can be kind of an optimistic sign. Why? Because this is the one correction for wave 2, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave up into wave 3, maybe like a triangle into wave 4, followed by another move up into wave 5. And this is, yes, absolutely an A, B, C zigzag. Now, this is good news, fair enough. And in the short term, I do believe this move up is going to continue. But what really matters from my point of view is this. Are we going to have on a higher degree a continuation of this move up followed by a consolidation pattern and yet another move on the upside? Why is this so important? Because at that point, you are absolutely able to say, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, indicating maybe the final low in Algorand right in here about 17.5 cents is already up. So the next 24, 48, even I would say 72 hours is very important for us. And if we do something like this, it could be a really optimistic sign. On the other hand, in the interest of being objective, we should be also talking about a bearish possibility. And that one once more suggests this move is going to continue. And in fact, it is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, instead of having a consolidation pattern and yet another move up according to the bullish scenario, this time we are going to have a very strong move down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in order to continue our downtrend and take the lowest low. So in conclusion, what you want to see in the short term in algo is a move up, consolidation, another move up, and what you do not want to see is a move up followed by a very strong move down without a lot of overlapping of the waves. In order to, this is important, pay attention, I'm going to say take this important low down here about 18.7 cents. Why? Because if we do go down from here and take this low, at that point, finding a 5-wave in here might be a bit of a challenge. And I think my primary case at that point is going to suggest, you know what, this is overall just an ABC zigzag and not an impulse, indicating again, once more, our move down is not over. What if we do go according to this scenario? Is it going to be such a bad sign? It depends. In the short term, maybe. Overall, in the mid to long term, absolutely 100% not. And we talked about this subject so many times. I believe in Algorand, we are having, if not a series of 1-2s, at least 5-wave up into a wave 1 to about here, followed by a correction for wave 2. And what's next? You know the answer, a massive move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And again, the reason for why in every single video I'm saying this is going to be a massive move is because a very important characteristic of a wave 3 is being quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So the future for Algorand, in my opinion, in the mid to long term is absolutely bright, but in the short term, whether the final one is already in or not, okay, you know what, fair enough, that can be up for the base, and all eyes at the moment should be on the current move and see what the shape of it is going to look like. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's chart. Anyway, If you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.